Yeah, start the streaming. I really need to put the BRB on all my screens, so I can just have this be the hi, we're loaded in. I'm just finishing up a little bit of dinner here, and then yeah, we'll get to it. Get to it. All right, there we go. There we go. Ad break is still in progress, so we're still good. We're good. Discord. Pin that one. Pin forever. YouTube. I'll get to that. I will get to that one of these days. One of these days, I will. Okay, can we connect? Are we the right port? Are we the right port is a good question. We're still setting up a little bit. You see, I'm rather stiff here. Okay, let's see. Let's get slime going. No trackers. Connect. Aha, one tracker, ready? And I really need to get a different mounting method for the chest tracker. Definitely need to get a different... Oh, am I all like contorted? I can't see right now because of... We're in progress. Oh yeah, I am absolutely contorted. Hi. Let's get that taken care of. Let's get that taken care of. Hello, everybody. We'll be right back. We will be right back. Oh boy, that's something. Okay, will that work? Hey, look at us! Look at us! We're almost there. We're almost there. Start the other tracker. We had some wonderful storms this weekend, and something lost power. I don't know if it was the... Maybe I don't have the network switch on a battery backup. I think it lost power, so my IP's changed again. But oddly enough, only in my desktop computer. So everything else seemed to stay the same. It's just the desktop computer. So we had to do a little bit of work before stream here. Let's see. Piece up. And it'll really be fun to get out of. Yes, I definitely need some kind of phone harness for my chest. A weird thing to think of as a guy. Okay. Full reset. Let's see if we need to bother with the rest of it. Are we good? Oh, it remembers. It remembers. All right. We do not need to do all the rest of the resetting. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Are we ready? Ooh. I need my own headphones. There we go. Got phone tracking. What else we got? Maybe do a little reset here. Look up, look up, look down, look this way, this way. All right. You know, that looks pretty good. Thumbs up. I also rearranged my desk, so it's a little different. Oh, we forgot something though. We did forget something. One moment, as I do the VR contortionist thing. Oh, that wasn't too bad. I have no idea what my legs would look like right now because my hips stayed the same spot. The rest of me did not. So that should be interesting. Okay, let's need to make a better mounting scenario for the cloth. Little tip. The cloth I hang around my microphone to cut down on bounce. All the audio bounce and whatnot. This is stuff I would normally do before stream. It gets a little ridiculous with two small robots running around the house. All right. And yes, I recently rearranged my streaming setup. Oh, I lost my hand tracking. My hand tracking back. I lost my hand tracking when I moved my microphone. So that's a head scratcher. Well, little robot, you can go to bed now. Oh boy, oh boy. All right. where were we, are we, etc. Straighten that out a little bit. There. Pose looks good. Pose looks good. All right. I want my headphones back. Oh, my voice is definitely a little lower this weekend. Or this Monday after this weekend. There we go. And soon I will have all the nice toggles here. We're getting closer and closer. We're getting closer and closer. If only I didn't have so many projects going at the same time, we would probably already be there. But exciting stuff going on. Exciting stuff going on. All right, let's see. Wow, the Twitch mobile app really needs some work, doesn't it? There's like no space for anything. Okay, so as you can see, we got the warehouse here, and we have a spaceship. But where are we working with the spaceship? Let's see. Let's check. Let's check. I do need to add more cameras to the rig. Yes. Headgear switching. Summon stairs. Now that we know how to instantiate objects, we could summon stairs, like Fortnite style. Or what I assume is old Fortnite style, at least. Tilt shift overhead view. That's going to take a little bit more. That'll have to wait till we're integrated in the whole project, I think. The tilt shift or overhead view, kind of like a Diablo style, where it's an overhead view, but slightly tilted. Headset. Yep, headset's going to have to wait until we get the headgear switching. Okay. Ooh, we do have a sundial. I'll play with that first. Get that over here. Starter assets. We're not starter assets. There we go. I'm looking over at OBS to make sure my windows are lined up and there's no space sticking out the back. Maybe a little bit on the bottom here. There. You know, I've thought about cropping off the play bar up here. That probably wouldn't be the worst idea, would it? Probably wouldn't be the worst idea, because I mean, you don't really need to see when it's in play mode or not. And it gets in the way when we run full screen. I mean, there's a lot that gets in the way when we run full screen. I think it's taken care of if I capture the Unity window, but then I can't drag stuff over it like I like to do. This is a slightly different streaming style, I think. I'm gonna look over here. All right. Yeah, we're gonna crop that window just a little bit. Let's see. A little bit more maintenance here while we're at it. Let's see. Not now. There we go. Change my mind. Executive decision. Not now. I think we could just shift it a little bit. Because right now we're missing a little bit of the bottom. Okay. Twisted my arm. I twisted my own arm. There we go. And we'll just stretch that. Well, that didn't work at all. This is why you shouldn't do some of this stuff live. Because I mean, for the whole thing, we're only capturing part of it anyways. Interesting. Yep, we will definitely leave this for later. All right. While we're here anyways. While we're here. I suppose if I were to change this to a some kind of full screen play mode, it would work better too. Hello. Ooh, I'm looking forward to upgrading that lighting. Looking forward to upgrading that lighting. Look at those. Look at those shadows. Oof. Those are some shadows. But we have something fun. We have something fun that we worked on. Here, let's it's not the fire hose, which we just saw in the background there, but I don't have it on a toggle. We should put that on a toggle today. We should put that on a toggle today. We have things. It says so. It says we have things. So what we have here is a sundial. I'm gonna have it toggle the lighting. And maybe it won't collide with everything. Here, let's get away from stuff that collides. There we go. But yes, you like our little sundial? Because we can change the, remember, we can change the position of the sun. Ooh. There we go. See, we're changing the position of the sun. And theoretically, that little globe should change with it. It does not look like it's behaving itself. Oh, it is behaving itself. The shader is just misleading. The shader on the blue orb right here. I should change that away from a blue orb because it's not... It's a little misleading. Like here, it doesn't look like it is where it's supposed to be. But it is. There we go. I forget it's a toggle. It's not a instant tap for where the sun direction is. We are currently changing the position of the sunlight outside. It's hard to tell inside. So let's just go outside. Notice that the shadows and everything are all going haywire. There we go. See, now if you look at our floating disc, it's like, well, it doesn't look different. Is it just rotating? No, it's because we have the sunlight toggled. So it's constantly lined up with where our camera is until we lock it into place like that. See? And now if you look at this little diorama here, see? Now it is coming from that direction. Even if we move our character. See? The little peg in the middle is our little sundial. It tells us which way the shadows are going. And the height of the sun, well, that's where it would be, because the Earth is flat. Our Earth is flat right here. If this is even an Earth. So if we put the sun way up in the sky like this, there. Now our little blue sun, it won't be blue forever. I should have it match the color of the sunlight. There we go. See, not casting much of a shadow. Again, on the robot, not casting much of a shadow. And I should probably have the disc not cast a shadow. You can see it on the ground over here. Because it should just be a floating interface. When we're done with it, this was more of a proof of concept. It's like, I bet I could do this. I bet I could do this how I want it to be. And sure enough, there it is. Later on, well, it's gonna be an interface type toggle. I want a 3D interface that pops up. so that running around, I can hit a button instead of having to remember all of these shortcut keys. There'll be more of a context sensitive menu for myself. So if I want to play with or see where the cameras are, or adjust the lighting, but be like a Pip-Boy in Fallout, you hold up your arm and pop in. It comes with all the display info floating above the wrist, or in this case, in front of me. This one lets me know that even if I'm indoors, it lets me know where the sunlight is. So if we run indoors with it, you might not know unless you look directly at a window. You look for some light peering in, like over in that corner. Well, where's the sun? Now we know. Now I just have to find an open space on my keyboard for the toggle. And then, of course, forget what I had it set to. When I bring it all together, cause issues. I have thought about controlling things like the camera and lighting through OSC. So similar to how I have my touch portal, or like a Stream Deck kind of deal. It's the same as having that set up. But instead of being like just limited to buttons, if it's OSC, it's made for, I should say it's not made for. It can be used for controlling like DJ setups and lighting. So if you want the little lights to, all shine at one object, or if you want to manually control the little, 3-axis lights, would be 3? Turn up 2-axis? Yeah, 2-axis lights. And then like the color of the lights. You can have those all be different faders or dials on a touch interface. So using like an old tablet or, iPad, whatnot. So that'd be an exciting thing to do. Okay, now let's see where I put my scripts in this project. Ooh, those are packages. Got some stuff that's mine. Here's the Sunshine script. What's in the Sunshine script? Oh, that is what has the toggle for. You know what? We might as well put the Sunshine's, for now, in my messy project organization. Oh, don't reset that. Where is it? Sun controller, sun object. It's probably on the sun, if I were to guess. Sun, comma, the is where it is not. If anything, it might be on scripts. Aha. Close enough, right? Close enough. So we got starting things, teleporter, post-processing volume, teleporter. I guess I don't have a specific key input, but we're going to put the Sunshine, we'll call it the sundial. We're going to put that on. That's on here for now. For now. Just making sure Visual Studio is not being too helpful. Because even though I'm not logged in, you never know. You might find out that I work at the Rusty Robot Factory or something. Okay, so here we have simple is moving. And here we're going to have another very simple on-off. Eventually, when we do this proper with the project all put together, we will have the player input. We'll be using the player input controller. That way we can map it while we're playing and then save those settings. Fun stuff like that. Fun stuff like that. Input. Get key down. Key D. Interesting, it chose the D key. So that's movement. We're going to do 0. Can we do 0? No, it does not like 0. I don't think we're using O in this project. Oh, here we go. Alpha 0. Let's do alpha 0. The 0 key at the top of the alphanumeric keyboard. That works, that works. That's right above. Yeah, it's right above where our lighting is. So that's good. That's good for now. Okay, what are we going to do? Well, first we need a transform. Do we need a transform or do we need a game object? Let's go pop over to the other project for a second. Because there we have all sorts of scripts. All sorts of scripts. We have a light collection, so we have lights game objects. It looks like we have it as a game object, which is kind of clunky. And I know there is a way to get just the... Why do I keep raising my arm up? According to... You know what it is? That is hilarious. Yeah. We have great attention span today. So the funny thing is that my arm keeps raising up this way. I think it thinks my microphone with a cloth around the back of it is a sleeve. So it thinks my arm is like hanging right here. And that's why my arm keeps shooting up. Oh boy. I'm going to need to finish rearranging my desk a little bit. I moved some monitor stuff around. So hopefully it's more useful, but I don't know if my arm keeps, if I keep raising my hand all the time, I don't know if that's super useful. Yeah, key up, alpha 0. Okay, first we need a... let's separate these areas. Maybe not using a fancy separator, but... Serialized field... Game object, let's call it sundial. Sundial, yeah, we'll figure out a better name for it later. That's the beauty of doing it, all this temporary kind of stuff. Sundial. We can just call it whatever we want. Well, what is the is active? There's a set active. Oh, not that one. We are just looking for super easy on off. Okay, set active. Where's the set active to the opposite? Hide body. We should just be able to set it active to the opposite of itself. Here we go. Set active to not active self. Set active to not sundial dot active self. There we go. Bam. User releases the key. There. Yeah, we don't want it to be a continuous hold down. We want it to be... Yep. one bit of bookkeeping, I guess, out of the way. Oops. Scripts. Things. Right now it's just things. Should rename that to Sundial, but that's okay. Again, proof of concept. You can see how messy it is. There's a cylinder, which is the flat part. There's another cylinder, which is the vertical part. So the part that casts the shadow. The part that's shadows being cast. The part that casts the shadow is the small sun. There we go. This tiny sunlight. It says so. It says it's tiny sunlight. And there was something about the clipping. Something about the clipping was being a little excessive, and that's why we had to have it as bright as we do. Again, bouncing between the two unities. There's some nice things that were fixed or changed in Unity 6, and this is not Unity 6 yet. Soon, we're getting closer and closer to packaging everything up. We have a constraint. Oh, the way it works is we have rotation constraint at the center of the pivot for the sun. So think of it like the center of the Earth. Flat Earth theory again, right? So the center of the pivot, and then the sun is up in the, think of it as up in the sky, and I'm blocking my hand tracking now. So when it's high noon, a little orb is directly above, but it pivots off where my hand is down here, if my hand tracking works nice. So when it's dawn, it'll be like over here. Goes through the day and ends up over here, as to be expected. Now we don't have time of day implemented yet for like a daylight transition. It's on the to-do list once we start the world. But for now, because we're starting and stopping so often, we're not quite needing the passage of time yet, because I can do that manually. And our fun little sundial will show that. Ta-da! There's our fun little sundial. Look at him. Oop, yep, that's right. We also don't have hand tracking within the project yet. And we can take it with us. We can take it with us. And I wonder why it is being called. It's that reoccurring problem with these spotlights. Is that? It's the reoccurring problem with the spotlights because I think we have too many. I think we need to adjust our lighting settings because we have too many lights in this scene. Okay. They're supposed to be automatically culled after a certain distance, but something's not working quite right. Yep, so when we're within too many spotlights, the little spotlight here is cut off. It's not even a spotlight. That is a point light. There should be no culling whatsoever. I'm going to say again, proof of concept. Whoop. Yeah, let's get a little bit more shadow. There we go. I'd say as a proof of concept, this is pretty cool. Successful proof of concept. All right. We have a plate of sun. A plate of sunshine? A plate of sunshine. Okay. So what do we have yet to do over here? What were we going to do today? Sundial toggle. Check. I started making a to-do list. With the date next to it. So it's like on 4/14, so that would be last Monday, I have certain things written down and only one check mark. Go figure. Well, no. You know, summon stairs. I'm going to say summon chairs. So we didn't summon stairs, but we did summon chairs. So that gets a check mark. Oh, did we ever summon chairs? Yes, we did. We could easily summon stairs now, too. We'll just need to make a stair tread. I think glowing ones would be kind of cool. Or wireframe. Ooh, they could be wireframe stairs. And then, because they're being summoned, they'd be digital. So that would make sense to summon stairs. Just need to figure out the right height so we can walk up them. Because there are, with the third-person controller that we're using, I'll hop over at the other program. With the third-person controller we're using, is it here? There are, there's a certain amount of incline that we can walk up. I don't remember if we slide down too, because I'm not using a whole lot of ramps in the space station level. I would say we're not wheelchair accessible, but we're basically one flat level. So rather are, except for the garbage in the way. And we can teleport everywhere else we need. So unless we're dropping too many chairs in the way, we're fairly accessible. There is one area that is only stairs. Here we go. It's above the hangar. And space toilet. There's a space toilet there too. Yeah, so above the hangar, there is a second story. I do believe there's a lift. I do believe they had a little elevator programmed in. But I don't think we have it hooked up. In fact, I know we don't have it hooked up. I did not add scripting for it. I do have a bookmark. A little beginner dev stuff here. I do have a bookmark or a screenshot of code snippet or how to move your character on an object and have your character stay put. There's some neat methods on how to do that. Some are physics and some are, I think they're all physics. Where is it? Oh yeah, I have one for a conveyor belt too. That'll come in handy. That'll come in very handy in the factory. Probably get to point A to point B. And to just have stuff running in the background. Have some environmental ambience, maybe? That the thing to call it? So we can have little boxes come rolling in and out. And speaking of boxes come rolling in and out, we could use... That is a thing we could do today. We could finally change those logos. Assuming I have a decent render of... Oh no, did I not? Oh, I do have a PNG. Okay. I was going to say, do I have just the line art and not the... There we go. Ta-da! Not a bitmap of the image. So we can take that and let's go edit ourselves. Go edit ourselves a texture. See, I'm going to do this while I think about some rigging stuff. How we want to hook up some of the rigging. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Go to the other project. And let's find those boxes. You. Material. Here we go. Here's what it looks like. And mostly hidden by Winamp. Thank you, Winamp. No, we can definitely we can definitely change some of those textures. This is from the Gang Warfare pack. So we've got, oh, what is all in here? Can I pop this out? Will it let me pop this out? Nope. Oh no. Oh, maybe. Oh, that is interesting. I did not want to. There we go. Here's some ketchup. We got some ketchup. We have some plaid. Very important. Very important to keep our plaid. Brick building. Oh, you can see that right up here. Look at that. Paint. Some fun little symbols here. Little security camera. Oh, this is funny because this is a security camera of locations, locations from the asset pack. Let's see. This might be the building where Rusty's head is now. Oh. I see stairs here. This might be the building. I got rid of all of this stuff. And here's the warehouse where we are right now. I put the manager's office up here, and here's the spotlights, the work lights. The furnace or the boilers, I got rid of those. Cinco Toys, totally legit. They say totally, they do say totally legit on the bottom. I don't think I've crouched down or had them close enough to the camera to see that. Totally legit. Well, they have some hidden behind here. I'm not sure that's supposed to be like that. These behind me look like they are for emissive textures. Little green, blue, or green, red, blue, little lights. Okay, we have Money Bank. Money Bank is very important. This looks like someone's front and back of their debit card. Okay, so right here. Totally legit. Okay. We need to find where that is located. Open with. Open in File Explorer. There we go. We are going to make a copy of that. Just so we don't have to hunt it down later. And we're for texture 01A. Texture 01A. And we are going to open that up in Paint. See? I'm not lying. We're opening it up in Paint. I should look for these. I should replace these with my own images. But we are going to be using a completely different method for showing images on our CRT screens. That'll be exciting. For one of the methods, I'm going to have, kind of like this, where it's an atlas, a whole bunch of different images all put together. But it's going to be for a video. So I'm going to have, it'll be kind of chaotic video of all sorts of different stuff looping. And then we'll take each screen will have its own little tile, its own chunk. Much like this right here in the middle. I'm assuming you can see this because I can't see if you can see this. There we go. But yes, so that way I only need to load one video file in for all the screens that are non-interactive. Maybe not non-interactive, for all the screens displaying looping video. You might be able to change channels and stuff, but what it would do is it would just say, okay, instead of this frame or this tile, this rectangle coordinate here, it will pop it over to the next channel, which could be this one. It could be this one or that one. And that'll be the way to change a channel without having to load in a whole new video file. I thought about that, and that should work the same way this works for an atlas. So that Unity will only need to load one instance of the video. So even if it's a little bit bigger, it should work. It should work. Get ripped up this. Ah, boy. Okay, where were we? Wait, here we go. Stinko Toys. Let's go find our texture. Also open that in Paint. I know we're using Paint. That's okay. That's okay. One of the cool things about Paint these days is you have layers. How awesome is that? Oh, I gotta resize before this though. One uncool thing about Paint is you do not have constraints. That's annoying. That's annoying. How big is this? Where are we? We are looking at 200 by 200 by 200-ish. Okay. So if we take our original and we shrink that down, and we copy that, now it's the right size. Now for the finished project, I'll make a couple variations, a couple different stamps, put a little blur, maybe some damage decals. I do plan on using decals too, extensively, because I figured out how to use them, and they are the coolest thing. So we'll be able to have like the battle damage and peeling paint and all that kind of fun stuff. We'll be able to have that now in the background, you know, on these different surfaces. Excuse me, reaching for some stuff here. We'll be able to have that on different surfaces, like the wall can have like a high water mark or something like that, or mold in the corner. And it won't need to have all different textures for like the wall texture, because we have, right now we just have this brick. We'll add more variation here and there, of course. But like for the brick, if I want to have a crack in it, decal, put a decal over it. And by decal, it is pretty much what it sounds like a window decal or a stencil. You spray paint a stencil over it. Okay, let's see. Got that. This. We got a rockin' track for our paint session here. I should leave totally legit on there for my own stuff. Oops. Off by a pixel. This is significantly easier to do for me in Photoshop, but we do not have Photoshop on this machine. Oops. I am looking into GIMP now that they've completely revamped it, so. Otherwise, I have not used GIMP in probably a decade. For good reason. Ugh. Good reason, good riddance. But I hear good things. And so I'm definitely willing to give it a shot, especially since it is a inexpensive alternative. Ta-da! You know what? We can do that here too. Let's I wish spacebar for panning worked. Does it? It does not. That'd be really nice. That'd be really nice. Okay. We're gonna have trusty brand paint, even though it doesn't quite make sense with the with the lore. Doesn't quite make sense with the lore. But that's okay. Everything is okay. But how are we doing tonight, everyone? How are we doing? There, we have our own paint. Skateboard. Oh, look at me. Look at me. I'm even highlighted by it. Skateboard. There. Does that fit? Mostly just skateboard. Skateboard. Yes. Rusty Skateboard Factory. Do we want to change any of these other ones? Fire hose. Okay. Where's our emissive map? There's a vehicle emissive. Emissive, here we go. It's not super emissive. Oh, the exit sign. So the exit sign and the TVs. Oh, the TVs will glow a little bit. That's pretty cool. And then at the very bottom, there are different colors for the different lights. So what we could do if we wanted to is we could line up, but we're not going to. We could line up a line up a sign, the Rusty Robot Factory logo, but we can just make that on its own texture. That would be significantly easier at this point in the project. I do plan on having a nice, concise texture atlas, or maybe two of them. Maybe slightly realistic, ridiculous, slightly ridiculous too. There we go. Oh, look at that. That is awesome. Let's give that a little play. I can do a fun little shimmy with the tracking. That's fun. So before with, as this loads up, there we go. Yeah. So before, oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I definitely want to age these boxes more. Put in some more battle damage and such, because they've been sitting here for decades. But I'm blocking the view. How dare I? How dare I? Hold on. There we go. There we go. Now this silly little VTuber's not blocking the view. Look at, look at, beautiful. Mwah. So where was I? Nope. Whatever train of thought I had is toast, but that's okay. We'll maybe think of it later. We mentioned GIMP, the graphic image manipulation program. That's what it stands for. It would have been great if they chose a different name. My shimmy. My shimmy, that's what it was. Which this fine fellow, this stoic fellow here, is definitely not shimmying. I don't think he can color change either. Nope, because we don't have it set up with this model in the corner here. But yeah, the little shimmy with the tracking. Though it looks kind of funny because now my head does float just a little bit. Well, it appears to float because there is no physical neck. Yeah, you don't see a neck, and just kind of floating, really. So here you'd see a neck, you know. Robot things, right? Remember with let's see. Did I start with webcam or did I start with Meow Face? Because I didn't have an iPhone at the time. I might have started with Meow Face because I was because I would have been using my older computer, which definitely could not run some of the higher powered stuff. So it's interesting seeing the difference in the capture between the different setups. The spinning machine did a number on you. I mean, yeah, look at this. Really twisted my neck there. But no, I think with Meowface, at least with the settings I had at the time, it's another tracking program for your phone if you have an Android. You know, I could get just a little bit of sway. Just a little bit of sway. And then when I switched over to a webcam with NVIDIA Broadcast to process the facial capture data, then it had even more sway. You know, you had just a little bit more range of motion for what the head could do besides just the facial features being mapped and moving about. And it is interesting seeing the differences on a non-humanoid figure here versus like a fully 3D modeled or even a live 2D, drawn and rigged character. It's really interesting seeing the slight differences in the mechanical nature of the tracking. Because before I had, this little thing on my chest, which is shifted a little bit. Before I had the chest tracker and the desk tracker here with the extra 3D stuff, I could really sway with the iPhone. I could really, I could sway a little bit. I could lean in just a little bit. So it did appear that I was doing this because it's somehow built into how the data from the iPhone is capturing the distance along with all the facial morphing. So it's really interesting not knowing exactly how things are going to come through. But, there's slightly different flavors of the same thing. And now I can do more shimmy stuff and whatnot. My hands were always there, so there's always that. I was going to try more full body tracking. My voice was apparently a little bit shot. Lots of chatting with the relatives yesterday. Had a big family get together. Hopefully I didn't catch anything. So I was trying Dancing Stream. So as much as I love the I'm talking with my hands too much. I should be moving around or doing something else interesting too. Testing out what else we need to be doing. First of all, though, look at this fine branded material here. Look at that. Wonderful. Okay, but the dancing stream. So I like it when 3D characters. I think there's even plugins for 2D characters to be able to do like dances and stuff and play little animations based on like the Miku Miku dance tracking and such. So I'm sure you've seen VTubers, whip around doing crazy K-pop dance routines and stuff. It would be amusing to see me do that. That's not quite my style. Not quite my style or my project's style. But full body tracking. I'm getting into the tracking and the VR type stuff. I think that'd be so much fun. Now I tried it out using the same Slime VR, using unintended trackers. I have two cell phones right now. My normal everyday cell phone in front of me here, which is, oh, you can't see it. I'm just off screen down here. So you can kind of see me move about because I'm wiggling the phone around. I think if I go like this, nope, not quite. Okay. Interesting how that's set up then. I keep getting sidetracked. I apologize for that. But yes, I tried using Joy-Cons, the Nintendo Switch Joy-Con. And I know we tried that a few weeks ago, and the drift was terrible. Like it just kept slightly rotating. because the Joy-Con itself is not working properly. So it just kept slightly rotating me. Phones aren't doing that, which is nice. So we have 2 sets of Joy-Cons, so that's 4 of them for our Switch, our Nintendo Switch. Unfortunately, which would give me you need 2 for each leg. So you need 1 by your ankle and you need 1 at thigh. Why don't I just show? Whoa, hi there. Why don't I just show the picture? Is this one? Here we go. And you can see my new OC, Do Not Steal, the slime girl. This should be fully legal because she's a monster girl, right? Like fully legal to show on Twitch. I'm assuming she is above 18 and such. Otherwise, she couldn't work for a software company, right? But anyways, so you need for the core set or the lower body, you need at least 1 chest tracker, which I have. Oh look, it's my S10. In my hip, which is sitting on my desk, I have another phone. And then to get leg tracking, you need 2 more tracking points on each leg. So I was like, great, we have 4 Joy-Cons. And they all have the joystick drift problems. You know, when you're in Breath of the Wild, Link will dive off of cliffs all the time. Needless to say, we don't use those anymore. Yeah, they just don't work great. Thanks, Nintendo. But the gyroscope in them is the part that matters for this DIY method. Unfortunately, one of the Joy-Con's battery is just dead. It works when it's in the console. But it is just dead by itself. So it's like, I'm short 1 tracking point. So when I was testing it, I had 1 leg. And it would move around just fine. It looked great. But my 3D model looked like I was just standing on 1 leg the whole time. So it didn't quite work out. I need 1 more tracking point, and we don't have more. We don't have more Joy-Cons. We switched to third-party controllers because Joy-Cons are super expensive. And I get it. There's a lot inside that little candy bar that I can't hold with my big man hands. But yeah, $80 for a set. Yeah, IMUs are rough to tame. Yeah. I would like to get. I mean, obviously, I would like to get the full VR, the trackers like Vive trackers or Tundra trackers, but due to currently living in the United States, that is, I believe some of those are, or at least the slime trackers are off the menu. It seems like every source, you basically put in an order, and then you have to wait a few weeks, and then it comes in. So, or they manufacture them, or have them overseas. Vive trackers are nice. I have one that I picked up off a marketplace, but otherwise they're like 130 pop. And since we're just getting into all this, we do not have the budget for that. We do not currently have the budget for that. Maybe someday. I should have the clock set to local time. I think that'd be pretty cool. Oh, and the monitors are properly, we did that a while ago too. The monitors are properly physicked to fall. Although it looks like that monitor there is clipping through another one. So that means that I don't have the collider set up properly. But progress. I haven't walked around in here for a bit, so I just kind of wanted to see what was all going on. Looks like we got Facebook up on the default texture there. This LCD, I'm not sure why we have that. That is not at all That is not all era appropriate. So we should probably just delete that along with the GameCube. We are vaguely 80s. Yeah. Not a specific year, but the general feel of at least the factory part of it, not the sci-fi part, but the factory part is going to be vaguely 80s. Good night to everyone. Oh, good night. Or good evening. Depends if you're saying hello or goodbye, I suppose. We're just walking around the factory because I haven't been in here in a minute. Kind of taking stock of what needs to be done yet before we package it up and merge it all over. What we do have, okay, so you notice the light streaming in from, looks like those windows way up there. The purple void skies, maybe throwing off the light outdoor lighting a little bit, but I do love that purple star field is fantastic. Anyways, there's a sunlight in the sky, right? Because here's the light streaming in through the window. So what we've done is we can track where that sunlight actually is coming with the direction of the sun. Like, hello. Oh, yes. No, good night works. In at least American English, good night is more of a farewell. But I got what he intended. Because, it's like, I guess you would say good evening, at least around my neck of the woods. But no, good night I think would definitely be acceptable. English is funny that way. I think we need more of maybe it's just a local, colloquial kind of thing. Maybe we need more of a hello and goodbye differentiator. Whether you're coming or going. Because good night, you're showing up at night, but you're arriving. And I think English is missing that. Or it just has the dual meaning. So what we have here is we have kind of a, not really heads-up display. It's going to be more holographic. This is a proof of concept here. The little light blue orb is our sun. And this is kind of a sundial. It shows where the sunlight's coming from. The main directional light, in this case, the sunlight. Which, if you recall, maybe you don't know, but we can move it around. It's harder to tell indoors, but the sun is currently locked into our camera angle, so I can change it on the fly. So let's say we want it to be kind of, there you go. You can kind of see the light streaming through the window. It's moving. Let's have it be over here. There, and now I locked it back into place. So if you look at our little sundial display here, it shows the new position of the sun and where the shadow is going to be. This will make more sense if we're outside. So let's attempt to get outside at least. We have a lot of clutter in the way. There we go. Okay. There you go. Now you can see by the shadow cast on the ground. Ta-da! Let's change that. Let's have it be kind of this direction. Wait, now we have a little display. We can pop up and it'll show. Isn't that neat? I should make it more holographic too. Oops. I should remember which hotkey I just linked it to at the start of the stream. When I have more of the daytime simulation set up, we'll be able to show like the passage of time. So where's my cursor? There we go. So the little sun will make a slow arc as it passes through the day. And it'll be showing the correct coloring because the sun is, kind of more bright white directly above head. And as it gets to, the sunset, everything turns orangish. I think it'd be really neat to have that set up here. I'm sure there's a plugin you can already get for Unity that correctly models that. But we're very DIY, so I kind of want to just do it myself, especially since this was so easy to set up. Well, easy to set up once I remembered which way the rotations should be locked to. That was the tricky part. Oops. I keep hitting the sunlight for this. Because so the pivot point, so the pivots match, the rotations match for which way the directional light is, because in 3D software, there's usually not an orb in the sky, a big spotlight in the sky, or point light, probably. What we have is a directional light. It's somewhere out there in the void, but it's not a light bulb. What it is a little, an object that shows which way the light rays are going to be. That. Go down here and type in sun. Oops. Come on. Sun, comma, the. There. I had to hit too many things. So there's where our sun is currently. I should probably move it a lot closer. Ancient precursor race technology vibes. I mean, I think a holographic sundial is an amusing anachronism. Because if it's a hologram, it wouldn't be able to, cast shadows necessarily. But yeah. So here is the sun. And if you look, it's not letting me zoom in quite the right way to show. You can see the angle. You see this angle here that is pointing. It almost looks like a kite, or not a kite, windsock. It's showing the direction that the light's rays are, blowing, I guess. So I put a rotation constraint. So the way this is, with a certain offset, is the way that the little holographic sun is going to be rotating. What a fun little thing. I definitely need to clean it up though to make it work a little bit nicer. There it is. See, we have our own little light source. For some reason, you really have to have it shining. I'm not sure why it has to be so bright. I guess there's some conflicts. If I turn the intensity down, it just disappears. Oh, are you kidding me? Well, apparently it's fixed now. Apparently that's fixed now. I must have fixed something while I was playing with all the settings. This weekend I had a little bit of free time and worked on this. Because before I had to have the intensity super bright, otherwise it would just wink out of existence. So I'm wondering if I was testing it beneath one of those spotlights, and there were too many lights in the same area, and it was getting cold. Look at that. Well, there we go. See, I guess it helps to do things on stream sometimes. I was just thinking what I should almost do is put a would that work? the light in front of the sun. So that it would show like the bright side of the sun. Kind of like the moon, I guess. Then it'd be a moon and not a sun. It'd be showing the dark side and the light side of the... That could be interesting. Dark side, light side of the light source. Because right now the point light is inside of the sun. Fun stuff. Oh. Which one was that? Oh. I changed the direction of the light again, unintentionally. Let's see, where are we? Let's go this way. Yep, I changed the direction of the light again. But now you can see that the light source changed too. Okay, enough of this. Definitely going to have to remap that because I keep hitting the light direction toggle instead of other things. All right, what do we got? What do you got last? Let's see. Logo import. I was able to make the logo 3D. I figured out what was wrong last week. I was missing a easy, super easy, crucial step called bevel. And that's how you turn basically line art into solid in Maya. Yep. So we can import it in here anytime now. Make ourselves like a neon sign for the factory, maybe. Side. I don't think we're going to do that quite yet. You know, we definitely need to get more done with the factory before we go adding all sorts of fun stuff like that. For one thing, this area is way too empty. I need more storage racks. I need some more machinery, more stuff like that. But I don't think I'll do that. I might not do that on stream. I still have to look up more source material. You know, go get some abandoned places or urban explorer photo gallery type things. I need more stuff strewn about. And also, I need to make some decals. In here, they're called decals. Basically, overlaid textures. Grunge maps is what I've heard them called before too. You see how this wall is all nice and uniform except for the built-in kind of watermark or rust mark. Well, I want to show more damage and decay and such, but that can be handled by just like an overlay. So taking a mostly transparent texture and just kind of plopping it on top of there. I saw that in the Unity demo. I was like, oh, that's how they're getting the cracks in the sidewalk or cracks in the pavement and all of that. Fantastic. And I tried out that demo again. It was giving me some grief. Not sure why. Let's check and see how they did that again. Unity 6 test. Overhead tilt shift view. We should probably do any goofy camera control type stuff. We should probably do in the space station level because that's the one that I have the most controllers built in. Oh wow, that's a lot of... I need to go back to my last to-do list. There's a lot of neat stuff in there. Okay, let's shrink this one up a little bit. Come on. Shrink. And you too. interesting that it remembers the size of all the different windows. There we go. So in the scene, there we go. Now you can pretty clearly see this. Let's see. So they have this pavement texture, this concrete. And then this little, I wasn't sure what on earth this was. It looks kind of like a joystick or a chess pawn. But what it is it's a decal. So what it looks like is, oh, it's loading. Whatever it's doing. Right here. Is that gonna pop up somewhere? Let's sit up straight. You can really see me when I'm slouching forward now. There we go. So these decals are tuned to the demo project, as they should be, because this one's kind of got us like a sickly greenish look to it. This one must be on vertical surfaces, and these are stamped around on the ground. So you can see this one is definitely right here in a few places. They reuse it a few times, stamp it right on there. And this one is over here. I want to see how they're doing it. Okay, oh, it's using the shader graph. I am not familiar with shader graphs. It is absolutely something I need to look into as we coast into the new Unity. Use more shader graphs instead of the old way, where it's a code-based shader. Let's load up a graph. What's a shader graph? Aha. So decals. Start with decals first. So decal, essentially, well, they can do different things. Here, I don't know if this is the greatest use. Let's see if we can find one that's on multiple surfaces, because these are just flat. But what you can do with a decal is it can be on any surface. So if you have a curved object, it will be overlaid around the object, or at least from an angle. Maybe not the whole, maybe it wouldn't like go around the object like, you know, like a texture map, but it'd be like projected onto the object, which would make it super useful for, you know, doing this kind of stuff, adding grungy, more lifelike detail instead of having flat stuff everywhere. So a shader graph, you could do it in old Unity. You could do that. I don't know when they introduced it. But you have your material shaders, right? Let's see if I can pull it up in the shaders. Let's load up. Grunge decals, I guess. Ta-da! Node-based. For you spaghetti lovers, here you go. But also, this is how I would do things in Maya for the hyper shade. That's node-based connectors. So the Unreal crowd is definitely used to using this. But yeah, it's the same thing. You go, you create the node you want, and bam, you know. I'm super excited to dive into this. I will not be jumping right in on stream on this because, ooh, that's going to require some tutorials. Probably a whole series of tutorials or a course or something. Needless to say, it's a little ways off. I want to get everything working nicely first before I start diving into this. This will be after animation. So after animations, that's this would be. Oh yeah, doing shaders. I don't know. See, I'm just jumping into the texturing and shaders and everything in this last year and a half or so, also. And well, for Unity, anyways. So I am still super noob at this. Was getting frustrated in the beginning, being like, how do I hook up all my materials? How do I add new materials? I just want to put like the light bulb, right? So I felt like, oh, I have a bright idea, and I just want a translucent sphere or a light bulb above my head, and I wanted to just quickly do that within Unity. I couldn't figure it out right away. I would have to go find a tutorial and do that. But yeah, because the materials, they take a bit of getting used to. They would definitely take a bit of getting used to, even the ones that I'm using here. And most of my materials are being imported from other sources. So setting them up is super basic. Like, for instance, clicking on the wrong guy here. But for instance, my character, here, Rusty. Let's go find him. See, got my lovely suit and everything. So these, yeah, these are all imported. So right here we have like the texture atlas for my suit. And that's just a shader. That is a basic lit shader, nothing special about it. And I have it set up to be, this flat shaded style. No shiny buttons or reflective surfaces. I do have different bells and whistles, if you will. Like my glowing eyes. Those are slightly different. Let's see. Those are lit shaders or lit materials? No, lit shader. And the material, see, it's a little confusing. And the material is emissive, meaning it produces light, but that's for my eyes. Like the rest of me doesn't do that. There's all these different things you can do, and I'm just using the basic shaders. The basic lit shader. We click on my head. I can click on just my head. There we go. Yeah, for instance, I'm just using the gray for that. Let's pick something else. I keep getting this collider, this box collider. But anyways, yeah, it's all basic. Because for the look I'm going for, it doesn't need to be super fancy, super high detail. You're not zooming in and seeing the threads in the suit. No, I'm got more of a cartoony look to me. What I am doing, that is intentional. For one, from a beginner standpoint, it is very intentional. It's a lot less work. From a design standpoint, what I'm doing is I am making the lighting and the post-processing, which is part of the lighting, do the work, do the heavy lifting. So I'm kind of going for this Borderlands, this less detailed Borderlands kind of look, I guess, if I were to find a better analogy. With Borderlands, you would have more of the cartoon shading around the edges. Like I would have more shading here in my, beneath my collar and my necktie. And there'd be some grunge splashed on my head here and that kind of stuff. Oh, you're converting. You need to just go out. Well, good luck. I gotta say, tutorials are super helpful. And I know there's a good community working on Godot. So good things are probably on the way, right? In Unity, there's been, tons of, time now. different versions. So you got to make sure if you're looking for tutorials, you're getting the right version of the tutorial for what you're doing. You know, see, this is Unity 6 in the universal render pipeline. So that's going to be different than where I started out. Well, yeah, I started in Unity 2019 when I was working on Rusty Robot for his robot control stuff. I didn't need any fancy rendering. So I used the basic render. What was it called? Standard render package, I think it's called. But now we're doing fancy stuff. Mildly fancy stuff. I still want this plastic, this plastic shaded look. Low polygon, wonderfully low polygon with all the triangles and everything. Boxy. So that is, yeah, so we don't need the high def render pack or high def render pipeline. Whew, a lot of words for a Monday night, yeah. But yeah, you don't need to see all the thread count of my tie, my lovely silk tie or whatnot. I mean, we're still gonna add in fun stuff like being able to have OBS or the stream being shown on the monitors here. You will be adding some more highly textured things, just not photorealism. And don't forget that we can do things like chairs. And chairs, and chairs, and chairs. You gotta head out? Yeah, no, yeah, definitely feel free to post in the Discord, like your progress on how everything's coming along too. It's always fun to see. It's always fun to see what everyone's working on. Speaking of things to work on, one of the things on the to-do list, I wrote this down earlier today. The nice part about having a notepad nearby. Yeah, see you around. Vending machine for different objects that I want to duplicate. Not that they be different objects I'm duplicating necessarily, but it's literally how a vending machine would work here. Select the button, the menu option, and it would just change the object to be duplicated. And there you go. Pop out the bottom or materialize in front of my hand, perhaps. That'd be pretty cool. Actually, that would make a lot of sense if it would materialize into my hands, because we can grab objects. Oh no. Oh no. Am I grabbing all the objects? Or am I just grabbing one object? Okay, good. We're only grabbing one object at a time. Because since these are the chairs, I chose them because I had physics on them. Well, they are also grabbable objects. So whatever, how the object grabbing works, is it basically, I believe it's the center of the screen, the very center of the screen, I think, it shoots out what's called a raycast. So there's a little three-dimensional line, a vector, being shot out directly through the center of the screen. Yeah, I believe the center of the screen. I don't have a cursor set up for it because it's kind of intrusive to have a little bullseye floating around on the interface all the time. Essentially, center of the screen. Whoa, hi there. And then it hits an object that is tagged to be grabbable. I have a script called object grabbable. So if an object has that script in it, it's like, oh, hey, I can move around. And then it floats in front of our character here, whichever way he is pointing. I didn't turn off physics on it though, which means it can collide with the camera. But I didn't turn off physics on the object, so as it knocks around into other things, it'll alter its spinning. And then we can just release it. We can pick it back up if we want. See? Throw it. It doesn't throw it very far. I think it throws it just a little bit. No, it looks like it may just drop it. But sometimes there's still a little force being applied with how the object has been spinning around. And it's not just chairs, but I think chairs are one of the few items I have currently set up to be grabbable. And spawnable. This would be great for a throwing system, to set up my own Twitch integrated throwing system knockoff. It's a lovely, lovely acronym too. And this would work the same way. This whole instantiate object is what the command is called. It would work the same way for ammo. If I'm having, well, I suppose if I was having like ballistic ammo, like a grenade that go thunk and then bounce off of objects, it'd be the same way. There would just be more force behind it. There you go. You can still see me talking with my hands. There'd just be more force behind it. So I do need to brush up on how that all works. Because I also want to destroy the objects, so they're not just going to be here forever, and then I run into memory issues, or I have to hit the stop button at the top of the screen. Oops. That was my flashlight. Where are we? Again, I do forget that I do have all these other toggles. So overlay, or I should say an interface, a Rusty's user interface should definitely be on the to-do list. Bumped up on the to-do list, if anything. Do I have hats? Nope. Whoa, that's not hats. That's FPS mode. And I'm very excited to turn this into actual VR mode at some point. Probably as its own, well, its own copy. I don't know. I don't know how much you need to transition a project from 3D to FPS to first person. Well, first person to third person is super easy. We're literally doing it here. We're just changing cameras, and you can see my hand here too. Hello. Wait, where's my hand? See? Ta-da! So that part's easy. I'm just swapping cameras out and then swapping control systems at the same time. The tricky part is I need to think about what all goes into making something VR, because I want to walk around my own little creations here within a VR headset, because that'd just be super cool. And then, like I mentioned last time too, one of the ideas would be to have my little adventure game, my not quite Telltale series game, be available in both VR and standard use, whatever you want to call it that way. a normal game. Oh, we do not have enough chairs to escape. Oh, we do have enough chairs to escape. Okay, what time is it? 9:40 local time here. Don't know what that one does. We could do the stairs, which would essentially be duplicating an object in front of us. And I think instead of doing all sorts of complicated math, that is one thing that really throws me off, is math. Whoa, you can see through the... Was that always like that? Was that always a one-sided wall? That is funny. Okay. The other side is not like that. The other side is textured. See? on both sides. Oh, though we do have a couch. We'd have a little sitting area. It's kind of dark over here. There we go. We do have a little sitting area with some books, it looks like. Yes, some reading material. We can't sit quite yet because I don't have other animation states hooked up to Rusty. That is definitely on the to-do list, so that we can sit down in a chair, just interact with the chair or whatnot, and just have a sit down. Let me. Oh man, that is not rendering very brightly, is it? I think I have the brightness on my monitor cranked all the way up. This is looking just fine on my main monitor. But over here, on this monitor, which is, to be fair, quite old. Yeah, it looks a little bit dark in OBS. I think I need to adjust the lighting settings a little bit then, if it's going to be that dark. Yeah. I need to test this on more devices. That is definitely something I need to do. Test this on more devices. I did do a fix. Words are fun today. So a while back, pretty much when I got my new monitor a few months ago, I was using HDR mode on the monitor, like a Windows setting and everything. And oh, things look gorgeous on it. Problem being though, I noticed anything I would render out, whether it's the stream or videos I would record, I would capture, with OBS and upload them. They looked super dark. I couldn't figure out what it was. But it would only be super dark, like looking on my phone or on someone else's computer. Turns out the HDR settings affected that. That was part of the problem. So in Windows, I toggled that off, and then in Capture in OBS, over in OBS for the display capture, let's see, what was the property called? Force SDR. There you go. You can see. Oh, look at that. There you go. You can see the infinite windows. Oops, and I'm blocking it. So the setting right here. So here's the monitor I have. It's a 2K monitor. Good for my old eyes. And force standard depth rendering, basically. Or standard display depth or something like that. Yeah, so the color depth isn't quite the same, but it's recording it the right way. But I think it does still look a little dark. I wonder if I need to adjust the gamma on it a little bit, calibrate it. Calibrations. Yeah, probably. I don't know. I think it looks great. Not everything needs to be bright and shiny, right? There. And we just lost all those chairs. That's a shame. All those chairs gone forever. Gone forever. Let's build that. So where should we have it? Should we have it in front of... Okay, here's the intro container. I think we should just add it to the player armature. This seems like something fun that I can get done fairly quickly. Those will probably be famous last words for things I can get done quickly. So we have an object grab point. There it is. Okay. I'm trying to see. I'm seeing what I already have attached to my what I already have attached to the character. So that is where I want to put this new thing. We have the intro container, which is our little Borderlands splash intro. the little video that pops up behind us. It's not a video. It is live. Chat quad. Oh yeah, here's our ideal light bulb. Here's our chat quad. There's you guys showing up over my, I think it's this arm. Let's make another object. Let's call this stairs. Make a cube. Super generic. Stair 1. Oh, look at it. It's showing up right there. So we want to get it directly in front of us, and so we can just keep walking on it. So that'll be the tricky part. We want it to be fairly close. Maybe we'll have it so we can jump on it like a platform for now. Because I am uncertain as to where it needs to be. It has a box collider, which is good. Let's see what other settings. Box collider. It doesn't need a rigid body. Is this gonna work how I intend? I don't know if this is gonna work or this is going to work as I intend it to. So currently, we might need to add a rigid body to it too. Well, let's see what it looks like. Let's see how far we get. Oh my goodness. I need to reorganize all of this. Where's my scripting? Script. Delete me. Delete me seems like a good place to start. Script machine. No, I just want a basic script. Oh no. Why are there so many scripts? New script. New script called stairs. Stair script. Oh, hello there. Welcome. Over here is where we hid the where we did the testing last week for instantiate chairs. You can see it duplicates. Test position. Where do we use that? Oh yeah, test position. So we're going to be duplicating an object and putting it in place. So that is going to need rigid body physics, isn't it? Let's just place it for now, as if we're drawing. So I'm going to... You know, I should almost just put it right here, too. I should almost just put it right here. But we are going to give it its own stair script. Private void, so it's not going anywhere. Test position. Duplicated object transform equals that. But what we're going to do is we're going to build it in the same place every time. I think we can comment that out for now. Oh, we need to find a key. Let's do the 3 key, I suppose. Duplicate object, dupe this object. And we just need a game object. Look, I even left myself some notes. Remove later. We'll just call this object stairs. Though this is the wrong type of notation. It should be stairs object, with stairs being lowercase. What I use is old school notation. Interestingly enough, called Hungarian notation. Because it's like family name, first name. Though I don't... Though why would they lowercase their family name? So, for instance, if something was an integer, you would say integer. Sorry, int. Int puppies equals 1. There. So you don't need to do this anymore. You would just say integer puppies or puppy, and then how many puppy do you have? How many puppy do you have? Yeah, things I'm learning as I'm coming up to speed. Also transitioning languages at work from Visual Basic to C# as we're converting stuff over. So this is getting up to speed with the modern ways. The modern ways, which have probably been modern for a while, but you know, sometimes it's if it ain't broke, don't fix. But things do need to be brought up to speed every now. Oops, brought up to speed every now and then. Should we do key up? Let's do key up. Let's do 5. So what do we have? 5. Alpha. Alpha? There you go. Alpha 5. Make stairs. So we're just going to use our same good old duplicate object script and do upstairs. Oops, why does this look like this? Oops. Note to self, Rusty. Why are we programming at night? Especially on a Monday of all days. So this will make a new version of that, and it should do it in the same spot. I wouldn't think we'd need to... adjust the position. But let's see. Okay, get key up on 5. Here, object stairs. We should make it visible too. Duplicate object, object stairs. Duplicated object. Duplicated. Set active. Very intuitive. Very intuitive. There. And that will set it active. Because we don't want this platform floating in front of us all the time. Test stair, stair 1. So theoretically, let's give this a shot. Okay, there we are. We're floating around. Got our motion tracking and Nope. Is it this one? Nope. Okay. Something is not happening. So maybe we do need that that transform set. Or maybe we do need this to be active. It looks like we're pushing a little cart. That's interesting. It might also not be putting it where we intend. Yeah, it might not be putting it where we intend. It might be putting it at 0 instead of the 0 based on this. Or it could be stacking them all up as part of... Wow, it could be stacking them as part of this. This might take a little bit more thought, because we don't want them to all be attached to us. See, before it was easy, because physics was dropping them out of the sky. So it was creating them up here, and then it would fall down, where we don't have that right now. Good. But we don't have that right now. What we are doing is we are duplicating this squashed cube at a lower spot, theoretically leaving it there. Yeah, I can see why that's not working. Theoretically leaving there, but the way we're doing it is within us, or within our armature. So it might just be stacking all of these up in the exact same location. Interesting. Interesting. This is going to require a little bit more thought. We're going to require a little bit more thought. We might need to... We might need to do what we did with the chair. Have the object of the staircase somewhere else. And this just be the target, the identifier. So let's do that before we call it quits. Their target. Their target. And you. Let's put you elsewhere. Let's just put you there for now. You in a good location? You're in a good location. Okay. So we still want that there, but stair target will now be in our code. So we are making it almost exactly the same as the other code. Take this up here. Test position. We'll call it test position. Well, yeah. Target position. Target position. Probably won't need that because we're going to leave it in there. And this is target position. Duplicate object stairs and transform to the target position. Don't know if we might need physics set on it. We might need a rigid body set on that stairs, which would be easy enough. That should be easy enough. This one? Nope, not that one. Control lights. Control lights should just be called scripts, because that is where I have all of the scripts set. So stair target goes there. That is still there. So now we're going to test it without physics applied. Okay, look, we have this. Oh, we can stand on it, so it has its rigid body. So physics just means it's not moving, so this won't fall. That's good. That's good. Um, oh, look at what we did. Look at what we did. Okay, we can Minecraft this now. Ta-da! We made another platform. We can now walk around in space. And fall down. But look, they're still there. They're still there. We did it. Now to make them stairs, I just need to adjust the offset up a little bit. But look at that. We've made sort of stairs. And how do we get back onto them? Well, we put one down and we jump a little bit. Then we jump up onto it. Now we can, whoa, we get a little stuck right there, but okay, that's funny. I'm not sure what that's about. I think we got stuck. We got a little stuck. It's really interesting we're swimming. That is interesting. Like we're stuck slightly in midair. That is odd. So there's bugs. There's bugs as any test project should have. There. Look, we're stuck in free fall. That's what it is. We're stuck in free fall. We haven't landed. So something about the way this collider is shaped. I think I know the fix for that. We might need a rigid body on it, so it doesn't get goofy like that. So the stair target works, but we're just going to raise it up just a little bit. I'm going to raise it up just a little bit. Maybe about kneecap height. We'll still need to jump onto it. Get off there. Again, it's the leap motion is seeing the cloth that I have around the back of my microphone to help mitigate some of the sound bounce in my room. And I think it thinks it's a sleeve. I think it thinks it's like a baggy sweatshirt or something. No, we have platforms now. Like Mario. We're Mario now, guys. Okay, but stair one, where is... Okay, your collider's fine, because just the shape. You know what, let's throw on a rigid body. Let's throw on a rigid body. Do not use gravity. And we'll make you concave? Collision detection discrete. We shouldn't need a rigid body, but maybe it'll allow us to have fun shenanigans later. So we'll do that. Okay, and then we're gonna wrap up. New toys. You know what? No, scratch this. We're gonna make it look kind of cool first. Where is our texture? No? We need something neat. And I just want to use something we already have. We got FX HUD. Should make them glow. Ooh, we can make it really glow. Ooh, that looks super cool. This is supposed to be tiled across a whole bunch of different objects, but that looks really cool. What else we got? Oh, we could have it be super glowy like my iris. We could have it be missing texture iris. Ooh. What is that? That looks super cool. Oh, it's the atlas for the font. Look at that. I should look through here more often. And a whole bunch of textures that didn't convert. That's exciting. Let's have it be whatever this is. Whatever this warp gate. There we go. Okay. We're going to save. And then we're going to show it off. Okay, so there's the main one. There's the main one. I don't know. That's an interesting set of displays. But here we can put it to the test. Here we can put it to the test. Get rid of my cursor. Oh, we need to alter the rotation. See, we were in a corridor before, so it didn't really matter. Yeah, it didn't really matter. But we need to alter the rotation. Why can't I jump? The rotation relative to the direction we're pointing, so it spawns in front of us, which it should. Oh, it does spawn in front of us. Just the object itself is not rotated. Why are we not? Oh, it's because we're stuck in the weird free fall. But we're already jumping. Huh. So we can only jump on one of these at a time. That is really interesting that we're getting stuck in it. Yeah, one of these keys does it. Yeah, that is super interesting that we're getting stuck inside of it. And why we can't make a platform. It must be something to do with the volume? No. Again, debugging. So it's a neat proof of concept. It just needs a little it just needs a little something because we're just sitting here floating. At least we can, you know, oh. Remember how we put physics on it? Remember how we put physics on it? Offerings to Rusty. That's what these are. These are offerings to the great Rusty in the sky. Great Rusty in the sky, who T-poses over us. Please, take our bizarre warp gate things. Accept our tiles, our currency. This is a good place to end stream, isn't it? It's the new chair, which we can also spawn in. Yeah, this is interesting. This is interesting. Just whoosh. Whoosh. Glowing tiles to the sky. To infinity. And they'll just keep going. Because I did not have gravity attached to them. Maybe that was part of the floaty problem. Maybe that's part of the floaty problem. Oh, and they're shooting up because they're bouncing off of each other. When I spawn two of them, they're occupying the same space because I haven't moved around yet. But there they go. There they go. Off into the ether. The great Rusty in the sky. And, yeah, that's a good place to end the night. Bam. Ooh. and I face this way, so now they're bouncing off the wall directly in front of us. Can I move them out of the way? I thought I put colliders on my hands at one point. I did. Look at that. I put colliders on maybe just one hand. Maybe just one. Get out of here. Definitely things we can add to everything. All right. And on that wonderful note, let's yeah, we might just call it a night. We might just call it a night tonight. I got to get rolling. Thank you all for stopping by, and catch y'all on Wednesday for some FTL. Yeah, some FTL, relaxing FTL. I hope to have the robot here. Why am I looking way off to the... Why am I looking so far off? Hello. Hello. There we go. FTL with your favorite robot, whether I am or not. I'm my favorite robot, so... They do collide with me. Thank you, thank you. All right. Good to know, good to know. But yes, I hope to have Rusty here. Got the pins sorted out. Programming good on the robot. We just need a little adjusting and we're good to go. And hopefully I can get a special treat ready. Some more upgrades. Some more necessary upgrades. So we'll see you then. We'll see you then. This is Rusty and Rusty's mysterious floating hologram platforms signing out. Get out of here, get out of here, get out of here. And that's a wrap. Good night, all. Ay, ay, ay.